On this episode of God Dreamers, Tony Bars, founding director of Vet22, a program for assisting veterans in need, shares a little about his purpose and how God has blessed him to bless others.
Hello, those out there in the beautiful podcast world. Hope you're being blessed. And today we're coming from Frontline Community Service Vet22 program with God Dreamers with Mr. Todd Bethel here. And we're proud to welcome him and hope you enjoy and blessed by this podcast here. Now I'll hand it over to the host, Mr. Todd Bethel.
Sweet, man, I'm about to get him to do it all the time, man. That was pretty good. One take. You know, behind the scenes, I had to do this about 5 times, but he just nailed it in one take. Anyway, man, thank you so much for hanging out with us today, man. I'm excited about what you have to share.
I'm happy, very happy.
So Tony, share a little bit about your background.
Well, I'm originally from Daytona Beach, Florida.
Okay.
And basically, well, my parents divorced a little early, so I was basically raised by a mom and 4 boys and a girl. Okay. And actually in a housing project called Palmetto Park Project in Daytona Beach, Florida. And my mom just had this big vision and dream with a 9th grade education that her children would succeed and do much better than what she did for as education. So she made sure she got us all off to college and everything against all odds, what most people would say. But, you know, it was purely when I sit back and reflect now, it was a very blessed childhood. You know, even though when some circumstances, we just had a lot of camaraderie through the neighborhood. We had a lot of respect, you know, for the elders and everything else. So it was just a beautiful bring up. And then after, you know, my schooling from all the way up to high school, I went off to college in Tallahassee, Florida. Spent a couple of years at Florida State, then took a couple of years off. Then I transferred back in 1982 to Florida A&M University back in Tallahassee and spent another 4 years there. And then after that journey, I came on to here in Atlanta, Georgia. Started with the Internal Revenue Service. Worked there for a couple of years. Wanted to get some things squared away about learning about businesses and taxes.
Okay.
Then I ventured out on my own for a minute doing my first production, which was called A Black Tribute to the Classical Arts, which God put on my mind to do when I went home to Daytona Beach, Florida. Knew nothing about the arts. Thought I was going crazy. And the next thing you know, this production was pulled together. I was able to find, I didn't know opera singers, ballerinas, well, indirectly. But it all came together and I did that production. And that's how my spirit with the art started, was from that one production. I was only in my 20s, early 20s. So I was green in a lot of areas, but I had favor along the way, making a ton of mistakes and still with favor. I'm actually in the Bible. I'm that man that stumbled 7 times to get back up. You're looking at it. But anyway.
That's fascinating, man, because so you don't have any musical background.
The only thing I can play is the radio.
So what I mean.
That's why I say it had to be spirit filled, because when I was in 4th grade or 5th grade, they would bring the violin for a little. You know, all the schools had it at that time. We would go out and just play it, and I was just I was just a mess on it. But anyway, and then I went to 7th grade. I said I always intrigued with the tuba.
Yeah.
So I said I'm gonna play the tuba, and
that's a big instrument too.
Yeah, me and the guys wind up not taking it seriously. The band director sitting us in the corner. So that was it for my band days. You know, at 7th grade. So, but for some reason, music always kept calling me, because after I got, even doing the arts piece, I went into the music industry. I used to do major showcases for major labels here in Atlanta.
Yeah.
Back in the days when you had groups like Escape and all these, you know, a lot of R&B groups coming out. So I used to do a major showcase, and they would send me major artists to come and peer at them and everything. So I even had once my own label. So I got my feet wet into the music industry. It's just kind of funny. I still never get away from it, even to this day. It still comes in handy, because there's certain things I can still use it for.
Yeah.
So, but I knew my calling basically before you even get to it. It was basically entrepreneurship.
Okay.
It's my true calling. I mean, because some people say, "Why did you leave IRS? That job had nice benefits, this and that." And I was confined. It came to me that, you know, some people are built for certain things and some people are not. And I wasn't built for, even though I tried it. And when I got married, I met my wife at the Internal Revenue Service, and I left and started my own business before we got married.
Okay.
When I came back, she was a little shaky about this entrepreneur stuff. and she talked me into coming back to the Internal Revenue Service, which I did. And then what she realized, though, is that when I would come home, we got paid every 2 weeks, I would just sign my check and give it to her and say, do what you got to do. And then, you know, as long as I got a little gas and food money, that was it. Then she realized it was like something's dying here. She realized that I was just like a robot. I wasn't, you know, and all I was thinking about was entrepreneur things I had started, and I kind of had to leave. And then she just said, you know what, you might well go back and start doing stuff, because I had landed a relationship with Walt Disney World. I helped recruit it for them for like 20 years.
Wow.
For my own little company. So I started making a lot of little headway.
Yeah.
For, you know, somebody that was pretty green, that really didn't have the mentorship or any of those type things to really, you would think, to succeed. But it's just journeys I learned along the way. And I'll tell you this quick story here. When I was doing the classical art piece, when I first started, I told you I didn't know what I was really doing. There was a gentleman back in my hometown. He's deceased now. His name was Mr. Charles Cherry. And he owned the black newspaper, the black radio station. He was a city councilman. He was a professor at Bethune-Cookman University. He was he had his own realty company. He was also the president of the state NAACP for Florida. And I went to him and said, Mr. Cherry, I need some help. Whatever. And he said, I don't care what product you got or how good it may seem. He said, but if you can't market and advertise it, you're going to have problems. He said, Jesus had to advertise. He had to let the people know he was coming back. So if he wasn't exempt, how are you going to be exempt? And I always realized that how big whatever you do, it needs to be able to get to the people.
Yeah.
So whatever I was doing, whether it was music, you know, even with the project we're talking about now with Frontline Community Services, it's always letting the people know what you're doing, as opposed to just, you know, sitting behind a desk or a wall, have to get out there sometime like Jesus did, you know.
Because I'm thinking about what you shared. It's almost like you early on, God kind of opened up the doors. He gave you the skill set to be an entrepreneur and see opportunity in market. And then he said, okay, now you got that. Let me slow you down around. You know, let me slow you down to redirect where I want you to be. So he slowed you down to redirect. So now you're kind of doing some. You're still doing some entrepreneurial type things, but it's for a purpose now.
Right. You know what? And it's not so much just for me. Yeah. It's for legacies, I guess, to be left on this journey here. So it's not for me. You know, I found I don't take a whole lot to personally please me. I don't need all those worldly things to be happy or nothing like that. So I'm simple. I mean, you know, I'm that little guy who can take you to a restaurant. My tab might be $7, $8. You know, I ain't trying to, you know, live that life or request that life, that this and that. I like to keep it simple. Yeah. Because I've been so blessed. I mean, when I sit and think about it, you know, that I'm here able to at least share the story. Now, even though I don't feel bad if I would have stayed where I was, because it was beautiful, but I understand why I had to do it. It makes sense, because at first I sit there and say, why did I really need to come back here? Like angrily sometimes, just saying, you know, all these headaches sometimes you have to deal with, you know, people, you know. Yeah. Up there it wasn't like that where I was with my godmother. So, but now I understand why. Yeah. And so that's why I say I'm at peace. Yeah. You
still have work to do. God still have work for
you to do. And that's what I'm saying, because you know, it's just been kind of, you know, but like I say, it's been a blessed journey. When I sit back and look at it, you know, I've had more better days than bad days, so I can't complain. Yeah. So that's why I say, so this, it's not so much the time I have here in this position, it's what I make of the time and the service I provide. Make sure it's quality service and it's something of value, something that, you know, that is a blessing. To others and everything else, and then I will hear those words, you know, job well done, my faithful servant, and you know, and I'm on to the next phase after that. So, I mean, it's nothing complicated in sense. I tell people, you know, even whatever you believe or faith or whatever, I say the best time to demonstrate that is through actions. So most of what I do is through action. It's not just really sitting talking. It's usually I'll be able to show what we're doing, you know, or whatever. So that's what I love doing, bringing things from the vision to to life.
To life, yeah.
Right.
So share a little bit about you know, your organization now, with some of the things you guys are doing.
Well, currently what we're doing, we're in the midst of, we acquired some property. We bought some property last year in Ellenwood, Georgia, in DeKalb County, to build emergency transitional housings.
Okay.
And as part of the veteran job training to help build these houses. But one particular house would be designated as a 24-hour, 7 days a week suicide prevention house. It would be staffed with counselors, therapists. So if a veteran is only really on edge and need to really get somewhere where he can get kind of instant help, that's what that particular house was served for. Now the other houses that would be in the same in the same neighborhood will serve a little different cause. These houses, even when people hear emergency training, they think of the veterans, but the veterans, nobody would live in these houses. The transition houses, you probably watch news and you see a family get burned out out of an apartment or house, and the Red Cross comes along, they give them a voucher for a day or two at a hotel. After that, that family may have to figure it out. Well, what we do is we'll say, when our house is up and ready, you can stay at our house for 30 days free of charge, fully furnished and everything, and we'll help find you permanent housing to get you back on track, even if you need counseling or anything. So those other 11 houses were served for. It's families in that period to try to keep them together and not to put them in an environment where they're already in a traumatic state of mind, going through a fire or loss. Then you put them in a big shelter with a bunch of strange people. That's even more traumatized. We'll keep that family unit together in their own unit.
Oh, that's good.
So they don't have to, you know, they're already dealing with one unfortunate incident. We don't want them to get caught up in others and they just can't get it back on track. But we figure you give you 30 days, we can still make sure you may still be able to keep working if possible, and you still, you know, can get your life back on track, and then you can still, you know, get the housing situated where you don't have to worry about what's next. That 30 days can make a big difference. Yeah. You know, whether some people know it or not. But some folks, those 2 days in the hotel and after that with no plan, they may be homeless. No,
you're still in shock too, right?
Right, you're still dealing with the shock, because I once had a house fire as well, and I was just devastated. I was so shocked watching the fire that I forgot I need to get out the house. You know, it was that shocking. Yeah, it was that shocking. You watching this fire coming at your wall, and you not moving because you look at this fire and you just shocked. And that's when I got out. And then they said, call 911. And then, you know. But I wouldn't think it right away.
Unbelief and.
Right, so I know it's shock and that's, so I know for some folks it's even worse. Even though me and my wife, we didn't lose everything, they were able to save and get us out and put us temporarily at a place at time. But we were blessed because we had homeowners insurance. And they took care of everything, but everybody usually, unfortunately, don't have homeowners insurance, so they kind of may be out in the cold. But we are compassionate enough to think about those in those circumstances, that they still can keep a family unit, peace of mind, and you know, their sanity together. So that's the purpose of that project. Which is, and what we do is we have different people. That particular picture is that one is called. We get different people to help raise money, and we name a house for them to help raise the money. So, like, if you want a top Delta emergency transition house, we do your little groundbreaking out front and whatever. We bring the Atlanta Falcon drum line out for you with the veterans and everything. And
that is cool.
Yeah, you know. So we had the first one was named after Miss Trina Parks, which was the first black James Bond girl in the movie Diamonds Are Forever. Second one was named for a gentleman by the name of Mr. Ian Burke.
Ian Burke, I know Ian.
Yeah, the second, we did his groundbreaking here. He also has a house. Also, you know, music mogul. So that's just giving you a background of some of the things we're doing that's on the housing front, along with this project I was telling you about, this villa, having these villas built as well for seniors and veterans. So that's on the housing front. And like I said, we're doing other different things as well. You know, like I said, working on the mobile suicide unit, where we'll be able to go to people as well that may not be able to, lack of transportation, we can still go and help and service. So those are some of the things on that front. And then another campaign I'm working on is a campaign for veterans, like a veterans homecoming every month. When new veterans come out to service, we want at least 22 of them we'll give them a special welcoming back to civilian life.
Yeah.
And let them know that we're here for them. We may have special guests, maybe from the ministries or from the VA or somebody, to let them know you're not alone. We thank you for your service, and we want to keep it going around that first Saturday around the 22nd of each month. Mm-hmm. That's something currently working on too. So I mean, the agenda goes long, but on our website, which is unique in itself, is vet22.vet. It shows all the different little things
going on.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's a lot more people can find out about us on that.
Okay.
You wouldn't have enough time for everything on that site. But that gives you, enough to give an idea of what Frontline Vet22 is about on the veterans piece. Like I say, we work in the arts as well. We got orchestras we work with and everything else in the arts and those type of things. So we're a little bit diverse, but the veterans, like I say, are more committed more than ever to help them, because I feel like they pay such a big price in their lives, and we are afforded the freedom, even regardless of what we believe in, but we're in a position where this nation will let us have our freedom of choices. And that's due to, believe it or not, what people go and fight for, so we can be free to worship how we want, to do the things we want.
That's true.
But I don't know too many folks that I know that will sign up and put their lives online 24/7 at the drop of a dime to pick up a gun and possibly go and kill someone or get killed.
Yeah.
That takes a special person to commit to that for a bunch of strangers.
Yeah.
So that's the least that I could do for them, for saying, you thought enough of me to go and put your life on the line to possibly kill or die, and you have to live with that. I can at least make sure I can make it comfortable, and also make it a debt of gratitude of showing you how thankful we are at Vet22 here. So that's one thing I'm committed, because a lot of times I see some of the treatment the veterans get. I've seen prisoners in a penitentiary get better treatment.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, so it's work to be done, and I'm committed to that as well. And that's why I'm saying, so, it's a spirit-filled journey, but, but I love it. I'm not complaining at all.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow, that's awesome, man. Yeah. Thank you, man, for sharing your story and with some of the things you're doing. Is there any words of encouragement that you may have for those who are watching? Maybe there's some of them are veterans.
Right. Whether you're a veteran or not, all I can say, I know there's plenty of hope and encouragement for you if you're hearing my voice. If you're hearing my voice, most likely there's a roof over your head, regardless of the problem. You have Wi-Fi service, so that means you're still in communication. There's a lot to be blessed about. But, sometimes if you're going through something, just try this. Just simply, and I can say simply, it's not hard to do. You just sometimes have to make up the mind, as they say, let go, let God. And just let that burden off of you. Because I was taught a long time ago, like even when people worry and stress, at the end of the day, what has it done for you? Nothing. But maybe got your ulcers or something.
Yeah.
So, concentrate that into positive energy, whatever it is. And we all have our challenges and we all test it, so that's nothing uncommon. But put the energy into positive, that you're going to overcome this, that you're going to make it, you're going to stand strong, on the rock of God's foundation, and you're going to get through this. So whatever it is, somebody out there in the podcast world knew they was looking for a sign. This is your sign that you're going to be just fine. But we all are tested, and that's what the testimony is for. You're being tested. So you're going to have a testimony, but you're going to be able to tell it. That's when you know you got through it, because you're going to be able to tell your testimony. But we all have to go through it. No exceptions to the rules. So in podcast world, Mr. Todd Bethel here, let's just stay strong, keep the faith, keep believing, regardless, okay? You were brought here for a purpose, and a purpose to be well served. So don't be discouraged, don't be dismayed. Even if you have to walk that journey somewhat alone, but you're never alone when there's God above.
Amen.
That's what I can tell you.
We're having church in here, man. So how can people find out more about you? How can they donate? How can they get involved? And so forth?
Well, it's simple. For the Vet22 campaign, they can just go to vet22.vet. That's VET22.vet. And then you can donate several ways through Cash App, through credit, debit card. You can send a check in. All that is on the website. So if you want to send us a message, you can do that as well on the website. So it's pretty easy once you get to the website. And like I said, look out for some of our PSAs coming out soon. We're working on one to show people. When I tell you we did a filming of over 22 hearses to show you what 22 hearses look like.
Yeah, I gotta see that. You want to see that?
Yeah, so I guess I have to show you that off camera because I know you got limited time. But I do have it queued up to show it to you. Some raw footage of it.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll let you take a look as you preparing to, take your equipment down. You can take it's not long, it's only a couple of minutes.
Okay.
But those are some things. But just stay tuned and remember, God's dreamers always welcome to come to the home of Frontline or involve Frontline Vet22 programs and even what you're doing through the community or through your
Yeah, keep me
podcast.
posted on some of the upcoming events because I'd definitely like to come out and check it out.
Oh yeah, well most definitely. We have some upcoming we're scheduling, and like I said, I'm working this NFT market and got some big plans for that.
Yeah, I may have to come and learn from you then.
Yeah, well actually, you know what though? But actually the way it was broken down to me,
It's pretty straightforward.
yeah. You could learn, I could teach in pretty much almost 5 minutes.
Yeah,
now.
my kids have been telling me about it. Yeah, Dad, you need to check out this NFTs. And I'm like,
But the only thing they don't tell you, Todd, which is a blessing for me, that the key really is marketing.
Yeah.
When I saw some of the artwork, I knew it couldn't have been artwork, but it was their marketing.
Yeah.
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 And that's when I figured that's where I fit in. That's when NFT makes sense for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I'm feeling good about it. We're working on some projects to get out. So hopefully the next couple of weeks we'll have them out.
Okay.
And then
we'll
you
check
come back and see some follow-up stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Right.
All right, man. Well, we're getting ready to close out, folks. So thank you thank you first of all for taking this time out to hang out with me and share about what you're doing. You're doing some really great things in the community, especially for the veterans and all the challenges that they're facing and just in general people are facing. So thank you for your for the heart that you have to help others through your programs. That's awesome. I can't wait to see this project that you're working on coming to fruition. So
Yep. So we're in the works, so we'll keep you posted. Though.
Okay. Well, guys, till next time, if you have anybody that's doing some great things in the community that would like to share their story, reach out to me through social media. Also, subscribe to my channel, and if you like what I'm doing, please like. But anyway, until next time, you guys take care, and make sure to fulfill your purpose, what God has given you to do. Take care. God bless.
God bless.